Although the Five Nights at Freddy's movie had a bunch of positive things going for it, we do have to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Now look guys, I like the Five Nights at Freddy's movie just as much as you guys, but we have to be right and we have to be fair. One of the biggest disappointments in all of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie 2 was definitely the withered animatronics. Some of the coolest looking animatronics we have ever gotten in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. They did my man Withered Bonnie for literally half a second. That man Withered Bonnie got literally half a second in the movie. Going in the vent, plugged up the vent, we never saw Withered Bonnie again. So we're going to talk about today what they did with the Wizards and honestly what they can do to avenge the Wizards in the third movie. So look, we see all the Withered animatronics, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Freddy looking so fire, man. They look so cool. They look so real. It's like, they are real, but it's like the design that they did, Jim Henson did for the design, it looks really freaking cool. I'm not going to lie to you, man. That's some of the best looking designs I have ever seen, man. The faceless for the Withered Bonnie, Freddy, Foxy, it looks so cool, man. I'm not going to lie. They look so freaking cool, man. I mean, like the design of them is like an A+. I mean, I'm looking at some pictures here and stuff. They look so cool, man. They look insane. I can imagine being in person next to one, like hopefully one day, but that's crazy. But if we take a look how they exactly were affected in the film, we see they were in the movie and we saw some Easter eggs from each withered animatronic. We see, you know, Freddy put his hand up like in the game. We see, you know, Mike used the mask to shield himself, obviously from the withers. That's the whole concept of the game, was really cool. But the thing I believe that they did really wrong was definitely Withered Bonnie was one of the most messed up characters in the movie, man. I'm talking about literally was in there for literally 3 seconds in the vent, plugged up, never to see it again. It was cool. It was cool to see Bonnie, you know, come in there. Like that's the vent that Bonnie goes in, the left vent, and it's really cool to see. So like we see Bonnie come in there and get plugged up, and I said to myself like, okay, like it's cool that we got the hallway scene of the flashlight and we see all the animatronics coming in. I mean, it's cool. It's exactly like the game. Like how could you go wrong? It's exactly like the game, exactly what we want. We see the light going on, stuff like that. They didn't do Balloon Boy like that because usually you need Balloon Boy goes in there and like again it is a movie at the end of the day. It can't be exactly like the games. But if we're going back to withered animatronics, we see all of them get their screen time except Withered Bonnie. I like Foxy's mechanic of charging up and coming straight in there and stuff like that. In the game, if Foxy charges up to you, you pretty much lost. I would have loved to see maybe Foxy like kind of turn around but come back with the flashing, you know, technique, because obviously in the game if you flash, Foxy goes away. In the movie he put on the mask, it didn't work, and Foxy was charging up. I do think that's a really good nod to the fans because in the game that's what Foxy's basically doing. If you don't flash Foxy enough, he's gonna start charging up and going at you. I thought that was really cool that they included that. The hook coming up top, really cool, man. A lot of fans, the biggest criticism they have of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was the lack of the withers. They were in there for maybe a sequence, a segment, they were in there, and then after that they were tossed aside. I get it. There were so many animatronics. You have Puppet, you have the toys, you have Balloon Boy, you have Mangle, you have all the animatronics in there. I get it. It's really difficult to put all of them in, and I do believe for what they could have done, they definitely could have done more, but it's not the worst thing in the world because the problem is like they were in there for a segment of like what you see in the games. Because if you think about it, how the withers are not going to leave the pizzeria, so they were in there for like a game segment. You know, at the end of the day, all these Five Nights at Freddy's movie, you have to have some sort of game element to it. Yes, you're portraying a story, yes, you are making a story, but you want it to relate to a game function in some way, whether it's the flashlight, whether it's the mask, whether it's, you know, Balloon Boy, you know, blowing your eardrums up and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that, you want it to relate it to the game and the gameplay of the game. And yes, it was a little underwhelming, but thinking about it now, it's not the end of the world. They were in there for a segment, they were in there for a gameplay segment. Foxy, you see Freddy turn around and Chica come towards him when he puts the mask on. The mask segment I thought was really cool. It was a really good addition. I only wish that Vanessa explained to Mike, hey, put the mask on and they'll get away, but there's one that won't see you. You have to try to guess who it is. Like that would have been cool. The problem is that he sees the mask and there's no explanation. So like, how does he know how to put it on? Stuff like that. If a simple Vanessa would have been like, when they're in the hallway, put the mask on, that would have made more sense. But the problem is like Vanessa didn't explain anything with the mask. So we're thinking to ourselves, how does he know to put the mask on? How does he know that, right? So it's like the withers are some of the coolest looking animatronics in the entire movie. I wish they would have included them a little bit more, maybe walking around the pizzeria, maybe roaming around. Like I get it. They were also so kind of supposed to be a surprise at the end of the day, but I wish we got some more sequences with the withers, whether that's them walking, whether that's them talking. Like I get it. They're very old. They're very slow. They're very hunky and bunky. Like I get it. They can't really move. So like having them in there, it's going like at snail pace. I get it. Really hard to put them in there when they're very big. They're very slow. But yeah, man, I wish we would have got some more inclusion of them. There's some of the coolest looking animatronics we have ever seen in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, in the games and in the movies. And it's like, they're so cool. They're so like, they're just so cool. They're so cool to look at and like visually seeing, like to see them in that form in the big screen is just crazy. Like so lifelike. I mean, man, it's just so cool, man. I don't know. Like I get it. Like I get it. They can't put too much emphasis on different animatronics, especially the meaningless ones. I'm not saying the withers don't mean anything, but compared to like a toy Bonnie or like a toy Chica or like something like that, or like a Charlotte, like you can't really put a lot of emphasis into the withers. They were just kind of in there, you know, just for a game mechanism. They were in there for some gameplay. You get the mask on, you get the flashing of the light. But yeah, man, I mean, I hope we do see the withers. I don't think we're gonna get the withers. I would love to see the phantoms come in, like we're talking about with Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I would love to see the phantoms come in the movie and talking about like, oh, like how these are hallucinations of Mike. So you get in there, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. You don't have to make it exactly like the game. Having those phantoms come in there, they're hallucinations that Mike is seeing. Mike was used to seeing Bonnie, Chica, Freddy. Have those phantom versions in there. Now, yes, I don't think they're gonna be lifelike like that. That'd be kind of cool because we know phantoms in the game. They're very like, they're hallucinations. They're supposed to be hallucinations of Foxy, hallucinations of Freddy, Chica. That's what they're for. They're for literally hallucinations. So I do think we can maybe get the withers avenged because look, as we know that Scott and the directors of Five Nights at Freddy's, they listened to the fans. They wanted the second one to be more scarier. We got it more scarier. We wanted higher stakes. We got higher stakes. So they definitely listened to the fans. And one of the biggest criticisms was probably not using the withers enough. So I do think maybe they avenged the withers in some way. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know the withers are still around. Toys have been destroyed. The originals have been destroyed. I think the withers are still around in the second location. I don't know how they're going to bring them back, connected to the puppet, and they were activated, prototypes activated. Like that was also such a really cool scene, man. I'm telling you right now, the puppet activating the animatronic and them getting loaded up, starting to reboot and get online. That was so cool, man. That was such a cool scene to me, seeing them get online and them starting to, you know, rise up and get turned on. Like, pause. That shit was crazy, man. That was one of the best scenes in the entire movie, man. But yeah, I wish we got more of them, man. I really wish we got more of them. Putting a wrap on all of it, I do believe the lacking of the withers was one of the most disappointing aspects of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. But guys, let me know in the comments. Was there something more disappointing than not using the withers? What do you guys think in the comments, man? But if you guys can, hit that like button, hit that sub button. We're talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, Mario, the Sonic movie, Avengers, anything you guys want. Let me know in the comments what's the most disappointing part of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Was it the withers? But hey, man, I'll see you guys in the next video. Be there, be there.